The moon shone brightly overhead as our group of friends arrived at the edge of the foreboding forest. We were filled with a mix of excitement and apprehension as we set up our campsite for a thrilling night of haunted forest camping. Little did we know, our adventure was about to take a chilling turn. With tents pitched and a fire crackling, we gathered around, sharing stories of eerie legends that surrounded the ancient woods. The atmosphere grew heavier as the night wore on, and the forest seemed to draw closer, its towering trees casting long, sinister shadows. As midnight approached, we decided it was time to venture into the heart of the forest. Armed with flashlights and a sense of trepidation, we followed a narrow trail that wound deeper into the shadows. The air grew colder, and the sounds of nocturnal creatures filled the silence, their haunting calls echoing through the trees. Suddenly, the forest seemed to come alive. The wind whispered through the leaves, carrying an otherworldly moan that sent shivers down our spines. Branches creaked overhead, as if unseen eyes watched our every move. The darkness became suffocating, and an oppressive feeling settled over us. We pressed on, our hearts pounding with both fear and curiosity. The path grew narrower, and the gnarled roots seemed to reach out for us, threatening to ensnare our feet. We stumbled through the underbrush, our nerves on edge. Then, we heard it, a soft, chilling laughter that seemed to float on the breeze. It grew louder, echoing through the trees. Panic gripped us as we realized we were no longer alone. Something sinister lurked in the depths of the haunted forest. We quickened our pace, desperate to escape the clutches of whatever haunted this place. But the forest played tricks on our senses. The trail twisted and turned, leading us in circles, trapping us within its web of deceit. The laughter intensified, its malicious tone mocking our futile attempts to flee. We felt a malevolent presence closing in, its cold breath caressing our necks. Shadows danced at the corners of our vision, whispering secrets of forgotten horrors. In a final act of desperation, we decided to split up, hoping to find a way out of the cursed labyrinth. Fear clawed at our hearts as we dispersed into the darkness, losing sight of one another in the dense undergrowth. Alone and disoriented, I stumbled through the forest, my flashlight flickering weakly. Every rustle of leaves made me jump, my imagination conjuring grotesque figures lurking just beyond my sight. Time lost meaning as I fought to stay composed, to survive. Then, amidst the oppressive silence, I heard a familiar voice calling my name. Relief washed over me as I recognized the cries of my friends. I stumbled toward the sound, my heart pounding with renewed hope. But as I broke through the dense foliage, my joy turned to horror. Before me stood my friends, their eyes vacant, their bodies stiff and lifeless. The laughter I had heard earlier now filled the air, a symphony of deranged mirth. A voice, laced with madness, slithered into my mind. It told tales of a vengeful spirit, trapped within the haunted forest, preying on those foolish enough to enter. Its hunger for souls was insatiable, and it had claimed my friends, one by one. I was the last remaining victim, trapped within its wicked game. The laughter grew louder, suffusing the air with a maddening energy. I ran, blindly crashing through the forest, desperate to escape the fate that awaited me. But the spirit was relentless, its presence omnipresent. I could feel its cold, spectral fingers brushing against my skin, as if pulling me closer to the abyss. With every step, the forest closed in around me, an impenetrable wall of darkness. Exhausted and terrified, I collapsed to the forest floor, my body trembling. The laughter reached its crescendo, blending with my anguished cries. I closed my eyes, awaiting my inevitable demise. When I awoke, I found myself lying in the soft grass, sunlight filtering through the leaves overhead. The forest had released its grip, and I was free. I stumbled out, my mind forever scarred by the horrors I had witnessed. Haunted forest camping had turned into a nightmare, a twisted dance with the supernatural. And though I had escaped with my life, I would forever carry the haunting memories of that fateful night within the depths of my soul.